Okay. First question is, consider the following statements with reference to recently amended service rules of armed forces. First is, all 3-star and 4-star officers from the services, including those who retired in the last 2 years, will be eligible for consideration. Yes, regarding the changes, those who have retired 3-star and 4-star officers, those who have retired in last 2 years. And the second statement is, this is right, all the lieutenant generals of army and equivalent officers in the Navy and Air Force who retired after June 2020 will be under consideration. Here both the statements are correct. So C is the answer. Next, ozone. Consider this regarding ozone. Right. Breathing ozone can increase the risk of asthma attacks. Yes, this is correct. It can cause risk of asthma. Asthma means some breathing problems. That is one type of respiratory problem. That is primarily caused by dust and this ozone, and that creates respiratory problem. Also, a person who is suffering from asthma will sneeze again and again, right, and suffer from also mild cold. The second statement is, the essential raw ingredient for ozone and ozone are nitrogen oxide, NOx, and volatile organic compounds. This is especially ground level ozone, right? Here it is talking about ground level ozone, whose ingredients are nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. So both the statements are correct here. So what the question asks, which of the statements are not correct? So neither one nor two are the correct. D is the answer, right? With reference to recently released Environmental Performance Index 2022, consider the following statements. Environmental Performance Index. The EPI is a biennial index which started in 2002 as Environmental Sustainability Index by World Economic Forum in collaboration with UNEP, Columbian University, and Center for Earth Science Information Network. India, which of the following statements are correct? Especially they have asked. This statement is wrong, right? Why this is wrong? This is because this is environmental performance index is primarily released by World Economic Forum and in association with Columbia University and ELS Center for Environmental and Law and Policy. So this is, even if he is not participated, is in environmental performance index. In the recent report, India is among the bottom 5 countries. Yes, India's rank is around 180, so it is among the bottom 5 countries so far as environmental protection index is concerned. So only 2 option is the right answer. First is the wrong answer. It is based on 3 policies, objectives, basically, that is environmental health, environmental ecosystem vitality, and climate change. And in this regard, India is rank is 180 in the, that is in the top 5, in the bottom 5 states of the world. Next, consider the following statements with regard to recently released State Food Safety Index Award. Food Safety Index Award. This is first time Ministry of Consumer Affairs released this index. No, this is not released by Consumer Affairs. This is released by FSSI, right? FSSI. FSSI has released this index. That is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, right? This has released State Food Safety Index Award. State Food Safety Index Award among the small states. Goa top the list. Which of the incorrect statement? So yeah, this is right. This is correct statement. So the incorrect statement is only one. Right? Incorrect statement is only the first statement is the incorrect statement. Right? Goa among the small states and Tamil Nadu among the bigger states. Tamil Nadu has been top the index. So A is the answer. Consider the following statement with reference to recently launched single nodal agency dashboard. Single nodal agency dashboard. SNA dashboard. Single nodal agency dashboard is system which tracks transfer of funds to states for centrally sponsored schemes and utilization of funds by central agencies. Yes, it's system which tracks the transfer of funds to states for centrally sponsored scheme, utilization of funds by the central agencies. This statement is right. The single nodal agency provides information about what the state has spent and center releases the send money only when it is getting utilized. So this schemes centrally sponsored scheme means those schemes in which central government is utilizing its money, right, that can be monitored by the central government by single nodal agency. This is designed and developed by RBI. No, the single nodal agency is not developed by RBI, right? It is especially developed by Ministry of Finance, right? Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs. It is developed by Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs. Right. So 1 and 2 options will be the right answer. So the purpose of single nodal agency is that to track the funds that are utilized by the states in case of centrally sponsored scheme. That means in those schemes where central government and state governments both are jointly spending the money. Right. Then Tiangong Space Station. Tiangong Space Station recently seen in the news. It belongs to China. That is a space station India where China is going to. It is China going to develop because it is coming out of International Space Station, right? That is said to be operational in case of space or in low Earth orbit, right? In low Earth orbit, it is going to be launched by China for next 10 years. Okay, which of the following statement in nodal ministry and central authority for seeking and providing mutual legal assistance treaties, MLAT, in criminal law matters in India? Nodal ministry is a central ministry for seeking, providing mutual legal assistance treaties, that is for criminal matters. You see, this is criminal matters. Obviously, if that is criminal matters, then we have two options. This can never be Ministry of External Affairs. So whether it is Ministry of Home or Ministry of Law and Justice, Social Justice. So basically, primarily the answer is Ministry of Home Affairs. This is nodal ministry and central authority for seeking, providing mutual legal assistance treaties, MLAT. Next question. Next, yes. Which of the following statements? Now, this is the most difficult question. You may see UPSC has changed its pattern recently, and we'll one by one we'll see what are the which of the options are right. Exactly, you have to remember. Yes. First thing, nomadic elephant. This is right. Mongolia. It is the India and Mongolia joint exercise. It was happened in Himachal Pradesh. Right. So this is right. India and Mongolia joint exercise. Next. Then exercise Aviendra. Aviendra is between India and Russia Air Force exercise, right? Aviendra 2018 it happened. Aviendra, it is a biannual exercise, right? Remember, this is biannual exercise. Biannual exercise between the Air Force of India and Russia. See, you can, from this raw, you can Indra, right? Indra means India, IND, Indra. and RA from Russia. Okay. Then OAS index, bilateral naval exercise between Indian Navy and Russian Navy. Right. OAS index, right. Australia, India exercise, we can say. Right. OAS index, this is Australia and India exercise that is related to. Yes, this is in Malabar coast. In Malabar, it is conducted in Malabar coast. So that is with Australia. This is also right. Third is also right. Then exercise pitch black. Exercise pitch black. It is a biennial 3 week biennial 3 week multilateral air exercise that is between. It is not between United Kingdom. It is between India and Australia. India and the Royal Australian Air Force, RAAF, right? That is between exercise pitch black, India and Australia. Then exercise Indradhanus. It is not between India and Australia. It is Indradhanus between India and UK. India and UK. That is in exercise Indradhanus. So exercise desert night 21. Desert night 21. That is desert night 21. That is a bilateral exercise between Indian Air Force and French Air Force in Space Force. Yes, this is right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 pairs are the right answers. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the right answers. So the desert night is between Indian Air Force and French Air Force. In the Indradhanus is between India and UK. And exercise pitch black between India and Australia. OAS index between the naval. It is a naval exercise between India and Australian Navy. Then Abhindra, that is between India and Russia joint air exercise. Nomadic elephant is between India and Mongolia joint exercise. So 3 statement is right. Okay. The digital divide over access to justice, managing docket explosion, listing important judgments of each of the 18 judges to remembering staff succumbed to COVID-19. Which of the following High Court has brought out one kind of annual report? See, the first one kind of annual report is published by Odisha High Court regarding its performance, regarding the eminent judgments and the people who has died in COVID-19. So all these things, report card that is produced by Odisha High Court, right? High Court is appointment of judges appointment of judges in case of High Court is 217, right? Article 217 talks about the appointment of judges of High Court. A is the answer. Right. Another thing, remember the judges are appointed under articles 217 and they are up to 62 years of age. Remember, and they are appointed by collegium system. That is a collegium comprised of CJI plus 2 senior most judges of Supreme Court. They recommend the names of High Court judges to the President and President appoints them. So here is the answer. Here is just additional information I have told you. Next is, which of the following statements, which of the following countries are included in Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC? Gulf Cooperation Council, which of the following statement? UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar and Kuwait. Here all the 6 countries are members of Gulf Cooperation Council, right? It was established in 1981. Gulf Cooperation Council. It was established in 1981. It is a political, economic, and social regional organization. Right. It is Secretariat Riyadh. Secretariat Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia is the Secretariat of Gulf Cooperation Council. Right. Established in 1981. So the daily quiz discussion completes here. Now we'll see some prelims facts. Now we'll discuss facts for prelim. Exercise Sampriti X. Why especially we create such military exercise? First thing one is that to getting them ready and keeping them active for any type to counter any type of attack in maritime route. Second thing is these are very strategic exercises. They are always in target with a particular country. For example, in case of Malabar, in case of Malabar exercises, US, Japan, and India, Australia, they are cooperating with each other. And the primary aim is strategic, that is very against the China, against the aggressiveness of China or dominance of China in Indian Ocean, right? So this is the basic politics behind these exercises. Okay, and also by the development of bilateral relationship. Exercise Sampriti X. Sampriti is an important bilateral defense cooperation endeavor conducted and alternative by both countries, which aims to strengthen widen aspects of interoperability and cooperation between the both armies. The Indian continental economic strength is being represented by the battalion that is called as Dogra Battalion. During the joint military exercises of Sampriti X, armies of both the nations will expertise in multiple simultaneous scenarios: counter-terrorism, humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, and even peacekeeping force under UN mandate. Right. So, what are the other exercises? It is GMAX between India and Japan. Right, Japan GMAX. That's right. Japan India military exercises. Exercise 921 is between Indian Air Force and the French Air Force. In the Dhanush between Indian Air Force and Royal Air Force of United Kingdom. Peach Block between India and Australia, and exercise between defense counter air combat and offensive count. This is exercise Peach Block between India and Australia. Primarily, this is between India and Australia is the Peach Block. Then Austin-Dex. Austin-Dex is between India and Australia, right? Indian Navy and Australian Navy both are bilateral naval exercise. That is Austin-Dex. Dharma Guardian. The joint military exercise named Dharma Guardian between India and Japan. The exercise is aimed at developing mutual understanding and respect between militaries of both countries. Dharma Guardian, these are the militaries of both countries, and also facilitate the tracking worldwide phenomenon of terrorism. India and Japan exercise aimed at developing mutual understanding and respect between Dharma Guardian between India and Japan against terrorism, right? And Abhay Indra, right? Abhay Indra, that is between India and Russia joint exercise, air exercise. Nomadic elephant, this is India and Mongolia joint exercise. You have to remember these exercises because they are very important prelim facts. And nowadays the question pattern has changed. They are asking whether two are right, pair are right, or one pair are right. That's why that is very important. Okay. Next, Agni 4 missile. Agni 4 missile, we have a series of missiles that is under Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP, which started in 1985 by the brainchild of APJ Abdul Kalam, Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. In that program, he has recommended around development of 4 types of missile. One is the Prithvi, then Agni, then Akash, then Trishul, then Nag, and out of these 5, Agni is the surface to surface missiles are the Agnis, right? So Agni 4, it is the fourth generation ballistic missiles. Ballistic missiles mean those missiles which will follow a ballistic path. That means they are not guided missiles. They are not guided at each point of their traveling. That is called as ballistic missile. In case of cruise missile, the missiles are guided. But in case of ballistic missiles are not guided. They follow a ballistic path. Right. Recently, India carried out night launch of nuclear capable Agni 4 ballistic missile from APJ Abdul Kalam, Odisha, Island, Odisha. A successful test reaffirms continuous policy of having credible minimum deterrence capability. Credible minimum deterrence capability. The successful test was carried out under the aegis of Strategic Forces Command. The Strategic Forces Command is operationally responsible for all the India's nuclear assets. The Strategic Forces Command is operationally responsible for all the nuclear assets. That is Strategic Forces Command. So it was conducted. Okay, we will see the details about Agni 4 missile. So it's a surface to air ballistic missile. Surface to surface Agni 4 missile having 4,000 km strike range in a two-stage missile. 4,000 kilometers strike range, surface to surface, and 4,000 km strike range. It is 20-meter long and weigh 17 tons. Right, 20-meter long and weigh 17 tons, equipped with modern combat avionics to provide high level and reliability. It is an intermediate range ballistic missile with range around 4,000 km. They are developed by distinct DRDO, right? Defense Research and Development Organizations. Defense Research and Development Organizations, that is developed by DRDO. This is a intermediate range ballistic missile, right? Prithvi is small range ballistic missile. This is intermediate range ballistic missile. For example, your Satan 2 which was also in use, that is the Rismat 28 by Russia, that is a long range, ballistic missile. For here it is two-stage and intermediate range ballistic missile, that is Agni 4, having a range of 4,000 km. Then features. It is equipped with state-of-the-art avionics, 5th generation on board computer distributed architecture. It has latest features to correct the guide itself for and fight disturbances. Most accurate ring laser gyro based inter-navigation system supported by highly reliant redundant micro navigation system. Ensure that the vehicle reaches the target within 2-digit accuracy. Right. So these are the features of Agni 4. Then mutual legal assistance treaties. Mutual legal assistance treaties. CBI is in the process of sending requests to several countries seeking information under CBI seeking information under mutual legal assistance treaties about those involved in online sexual abuse of minors and circulation of child pornographic material on social media platform. That is mutual legal assistance treaty. CBI is in the process of sending requests to several countries, right? Information under MLLT, that is mutual legal assistance treaty between the different countries. What is this MLAT? We are also discussing in the question that it belongs to the Home Ministry. At that time, I has not discussed about MLLT. Now we see MLLT is in a criminal matters are the bilateral treaties entered between countries for providing international cooperation and assistance, especially regarding crime. Right? These agreements are allowed exchange of evidence and information in case of criminal and related matters between signing the countries. That means if India is signing a treaty with Nepal regarding the MLLT, then India will provide the necessary information India have regarding those who are the criminals, regarding the criminal background or criminal information that's seek by the Nepal government. The benefits of the treaty: it enhances the effectiveness and participating countries in investigation and prosecution of the crime through cooperation and mutual legal assistance. Cooperation and mutual legal assistance. So both will contribute because the challenges is getting increased. There is transnational terrorism. Terrorism has become transnational because Various terrestrial nations have developed their relationship with each other, right? So to counter such things in case of such type of big problems, cooperation with other countries is highly essential. So this treaty will help India and other countries to develop their relationship by holding by giving information regarding giving information or prosecution in crime. It will provide broad legal framework for tracing, restraint, confiscation, and proceeds and instruments of crime, as well as funds meant to finance the terrorist acts. It will be instrumental in gaining better inputs and insights in the modus operandi of organized criminals and terrorists, right? So it will be very instrumental against organized crimes or terrorists or gangsters. This in turn can be used to fine-tune policy and decisions in the field of internal security that will ensure our internal security, because various challenges like criminals, they will be arrested and put behind the bars, and the coordination and also criminal justice system will be reset. Enforcing MLAT in India, Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal ministry. Remember, Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal ministry regarding enforcement of MLAT in India, that is between two different countries, right? Central authority for seeking and providing mutual legal assistance in criminal law matters. That means other country also, we have to help the other countries in criminal law matters as well. Just a second. Then Siagang Space Station. Right. Yes, another thing is Ministry of External Affairs may be involved in the process when requests are routed through diplomatic channels by the ministries. That means if two countries are going to, obviously when two countries are going to communicate with each other, they will take the help of Ministry of External Affairs. In the Indian envoy, those who are there, they will obviously they will interfere in such matters. The Section 105 of CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code, speaks about reciprocal arrangements to be made by the center with the foreign governments. Then Sianggang Space Station, it means Heavenly Palace, right? It was 10.4 meters long and 3.35 meters wide, and widest point, and weighed 8.6 metric tons. 8.6 metric tons. It was launched in September 15, 2016. In late 2016, hosted two Chinese astronauts for 30 days and was China's longest manned mission so far. So for 30 days, it hosted around two astronauts, and longest manned mission, that is in the space station. It's a space station, and all these space stations, they are placed in low Earth orbit between the 300 kilometer and 400 kilometer. Usually they are placed. The limit of low Earth orbit is from 180 kilometer to 2000 kilometer. The recently decommissioned space lab, followed by Tiangong-1, China's fast space station, which crashed into the southern Pacific Ocean April 1, 2018, after Chinese scientists lost their control of the air spacecraft. The recently decommissioned space lab followed the Tiangong-1, that China's fast space station, this crashed into southern Pacific Ocean. Next, China has launched Tiangong-1 2011 as a proof of concept technologies for the future station. The Tiangong will be fully operational by the end of 2022. This will be the significant feature of Xiangong in its two robotic arms. The US has previously expressed concern over ability to grab objects, including the satellites, from the space. It has a US has raised concern that it has some ability to grab the objects in the satellites. That is one type of creation of space war where which US and India has been, or the world has been, you have to doubt that it may happen in case of space war. Chinese they in this Chinese mission they can grab other satellites of other countries. 10-meter long arm was in action previously seen in the action, successfully grabbing and moving 20-meter ton Xianzhou 2 cargo ship in a test. Right, it was grabbing and moving a 20-meter ton Xianzhou 2 cargo ship in a test. One of the noteworthy tasks of Shenzhou 14 crew is to test and operate the large and small. Arm is quite flexible and can perform operation with a very exact precision. So this is about Xiangnan. Right? They can work. They can even work in the low Earth orbit very efficiently and right. So this is Xiangnan. It has two robotic arms that is more flexible, and it has also grabbing power that is complained by United States. Besides being a moral imperative welfare state, primary health structure is necessary precondition for sustainable development. Being a moral imperative of welfare state, right? First, we have to explain what is this welfare state and what is this moral imperative. Then we'll discuss about primary health structure and how that can be the precondition of sustainable development. So, you have to divide the questions into different parts. First, primary health care is a term used to describe the first contact of a person has with the health system when they have health problem, right? First contact that means if you are getting injured, obviously you will get to the primary healthcare system. And welfare state is a concept of government in which state plays a key role in the protection and promotion of economic and social well-being of the citizens. That is the principle of welfare state. The basic principle of welfare state that is mentioned in the directive principle of state policy in part 4 of the constitution. Right. Primary health structure is a moral imperative of a welfare state. The right to health is a part and parcel of right to life under Article 21. Therefore, right to health is a fundamental right. Right. As Article 21 that says the protection of life and personal liberty. So, right to health comes under Article 21. Granted every citizen of India under Article 21 of the Constitution. It is a as a directive principle of state policy, Article 47 talks about raising the level of nutrition and standard of living of people to improve the public health. It provides an obligation of the state to provide primary health facilities, right? So primary health facilities that should be given to the citizens as per the DPSP Article 47. Primary health care is most efficient way to achieve the health for all. It is very important to achieve the health for all. That's because the education creates awareness, and they do not. So there's the usual. The lifestyle changes and the sanitation increases, and the number of diseases that decreases, right? So this is an effective way to achieve health for all. Primary health structure is a necessary precondition for sustainable development in the following ways. How this can be primary healthcare system can be become a sustainable development. Then SDG talks about ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all the ages, accessing equal quality health and possible without affecting primary health structure. So primary health is very important because it talks to the basic health of masses and that also goes to next generation. So primary health is healthcare is very important. Right? Lack of availability of subsidized and timely treatment lead to affordability issues and creates vicious cycle of poverty, heightens the out of pocket expenditure, lack of subsidized and timely treatment. Timely treatment means even you know that in various government services there is various government hospitals there is free treatment. But the fact is that you have to wait for that for hours or for 45 minutes or 1 hour to meet the doctor or to get treated, right? So in those situations, that is time is becoming more. So to reduce the time, various people or to make a better care. For example, you want to go for operation 2 M's, then you have to wait for 2 and 3 months. That's a long time. But in case of private sector, you will get operation within 6 or 7 days. So healthcare should be timely, right? It should be provided immediately service to the patients. But for that, you need a huge infrastructure, you need a skilled manpower like the doctors and the nurses. All these things they need to be involved. Okay. Yes. How they yes when such type of primary treatment do not happen, what happens? The disease become aggravated and that need to have higher prices, prices of treatment, so that ultimately lead to vicious cycle of poverty because a poor person when it make out of pocket expenditure it fall into loan on that increases, right, gradually. So they are very unhealthy. So right. Okay, next is as a societal poor population health associated with lower saving rates, lower the rates of return capital, lower levels of investment. All these factors continue to reduction in economic growth. Continue to reduction of economic growth. Okay. Conclusion. As recognized 2008 Astana Declaration, primary healthcare approach is the most effective way to sustainability from students' health challenges, right? Because if primary healthcare is not proper, then what happens? The development of a human being is not proper, right? So that creates various health challenges. The National Health Policy 2017 aims at providing a larger package of assured comprehensive healthcare through health and wellness centers, advocates allocating major proportion of the resources to primary care. So this has been planned. Just a second. Next, why the golf matters for India? Right? Why golf is important for India? The BJP's actions against its own leaders underline significance of the Gulf region for the India, bearing the Jewish state of Israel, 10 countries of Gulf region, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iran, right? Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iran, Bahrain, Kuwait, UAE, Oman, Jordan, Yemen, together account for one-fifth of the world Muslim population, are among the strongest voices of the Muslim world, right? They have most of them. They have condemned the recent incident where a BJP spokesperson has spoken against Muhammad, right? Why it is important? It is because important because Iran, because has small gas stations in Qatar and India is the closest ally of the region. Iran is important because of Afghanistan and transportation, INSTC corridor, right? Our Chawar port. It is we are importing Iranian oil. The two most important reasons for relations for oil and gas and trade. Our trade is very huge. We have signed. Uh, we have um, uh, we have signed comprehensive economic partnership agreement with UAE. Right, we are importing a huge amount of oil and gas resources from the Middle East. That's why they are important. The additional reasons for huge number of Indians, there is a huge Indian diaspora in the Gulf countries who are sending the remittances, and that is why India is the topmost country so far as remittances is concerned. How much trade does India do with the countries of the region? According to the Indian MNC of Riyadh, the Gulf Cooperation Council, though includes Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, count, has emerged a major trading partner of India and has vast potential regarding India's investment in the future. Iran is fifth largest trading partner, right? Saudi Arabia is the largest trading partner, right? These are very, complicated data. So you don't have to remember all these things because most of the remember that most of the oils are coming from the Saudi Arabia. We have a very strong trade relationship with UAE, right? So it is substantial UAE and oil and gas reserves for the to supply India's energy needs. Then Qatar, total water 15 billion, 1.4% of India's total trade. The country is most important supplier for natural gas. Qatar accounts 41% Indian natural gas, and the UAE accounts 11%. So Qatar is very important. So far as natural gas is concerned. How much oil does India import? According to analysis observed by Research Foundation, more than 84% of India's petroleum demand are basically imported from the Gulf countries. So crude oil from 42 countries, we are importing, but majority are from the Gulf countries, or the share of percent of countries is around 60% over the last few years, right? The largest exporter of oil to India was Iraq, whose share has gone up 9% to 22%. Saudi Arabia accounted for 17 to 80% oil imports over a decade. So Kuwait and UAE remain the major oil exporters to India. So all these Gulf countries, they are primarily exporters of natural gas and petroleum products. And there is huge amount of diaspora as well. And so the present government has visited various countries like of the Gulf countries like UAE, like Palestinian, like Saudi Arabia, all countries have Indian Prime Minister has visited. That's why the relationship is very strong, right? He also visited from Bahrain. He has also visited Oman. He has from Saudi Arabia, Qatar. So all the countries they have developed, Prime Minister has visited and strengthened our relationship. So today, this for today, this much is the classes. Then what should be the way forward? There should be clean energy synergy. There should be clean avoiding the such conflicts. There must be clean synergy between India and GCC countries, consolidating the traditional layers cooperation, energy, trade, involvement. They need to adopt integrated and cohesive approach to develop the tri area, that is water conservation, security, digital technology, skill development, and renewable energy. These are the 5 prominent areas in the field of science and technology, right? So we have to stay away from such conflict and develop according to our mutual convergence. So the lecture ends here. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to VANIK-IAS. Thank you.